We're probably gonna get it in the newspaper or
Wait,
something.
wait. Can I do one?
Yeah,
Yeah, get
absolutely.
up.
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
Oh, okay. Hold on. I
There
need
you
you to do
go,
that one
Mary.
more time. No, she can do that. That's okay. All right, one more time. Ready? One, two, three. Perfect. Thank you. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. No, it's good to document this kind of stuff. Right, Gannon?
Of course.
All right. Gotta be fair. Gotta get the good side of these people too.
I was gonna say, get my good side, Selena.
I promise.
All my sides are my good sides.
Oh, whatever.
There we go.
Deputies in the back. How are we looking outside? Do we have many more people waiting to come in?
We take a look.
Thank you.
No one as of now.
Okay. All right. Court is now in session. Before we proceed further, court must impanel a jury. Jurors will be selected at random from those presently in the gallery. If I could get those of you who do not have felony records and are not witnesses or otherwise involved with this case to stand, please.
Oh, shit.
Okay. It's Phoebe Lee, Selena Galanes, and Mr. Mercer.
Yes, sir.
Judge, there's a woman behind him as well.
Well, I see her, Miss Florence. I can't help but remember you were charged with evasion of justice, correct?
I guess I'll sit back down then.
Thank you very much. If the three of you could take seats in the jury box, please, we'll get you sworn in.
Hey, Florence, I like you already.
That we do.
All right, we're robbing her first. It's a joke. Relax.
Uh-huh.
Give me just a second here. Okay, can you all hear me over there?
Yeah, loud and clear.
The jurors?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Members of the jury, please rise and raise your hands. Okay. Do each of you solemnly swear that you will well and truly try the matters now before this court between the state and the defendants, and that you will render a true verdict according to the evidence presented, and the law as I shall instruct you, so help you God.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Mercer?
I will, so help me God.
All right, let the record reflect that the jury is duly sworn. Let's see here. Apologies, I'm a little frazzled today. I'm all over the place. Okay. Now that you have been selected as jurors, I want it to be clear to you what that means. You have been selected and are expected to serve unless you have a compelling reason not to. If any of you have a compelling reason, now would be the time to say. It's not the time for speeches or opinions about the case. You are simply here to hear the evidence. You cannot discuss this matter with anybody outside of deliberations, including other jurors. You will not conduct your own inquiries if we go to recess. You will not rely on rumor or prior knowledge of this case. You will decide this case solely on the evidence presented in this courtroom today and the law as I instruct you. The defendants stand presumed innocent. That presumption remains unless the state proves each element of each charge beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not about rumor or reputation. It's not about what you may have heard about in town, at the saloons, or on the street. It is about evidence. It's about sworn testimony, and it's about whether the state can meet its burden under the law. The presumption of evidence for the defendants remains with them until the state proves it. The burden never shifts to the defense, and they are not required to prove anything. You do not decide this case based on sympathy or anger or fear or personal views about moonshining or law enforcement or the character of those involved. You must weigh credibility carefully, examine the evidence, and apply the law as I instruct you, not as you wish it to be. You will hear opening statements shortly, and understand that opening statements are not evidence. They're roadmaps, explanations of what each side believes the evidence will show. Listen carefully to what they tell you. Take note of what is promised, and measure those promises against what is actually proven. Counsel for the state, you may proceed with your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here to adjudicate a tale of depravity that belongs more to the Dark Ages than it does to this enlightened century. The prosecution will show that these two defendants did not merely content themselves with poisoning our countrymen through the manufacture of illicit spirits. No, ladies and gentlemen, they laid their violent hands upon the person of a defenseless woman, tearing her from the safety of her life and pressing her into a most wretched and involuntary servitude. We shall bring before you the victim herself. She will recount in her own words the terror of her seizure and the subsequent time spent under the constant threat of the lash and of the pistol. You will hear how she was forced by these two O'Driscolls to tend the fires of a hidden still
Objection, Your
becoming
Honor.
an unwilling instrument
This
in
is an
their
opening
scheme
statement. There's nothing to object.
Well, he's
to
leading.
defraud the government and line their pockets with the proceeds of crime. Ladies and gentlemen, the charge before you is slavery. It is a word that should have no place in our current year of 1896. Yet these two have written it back into our history. I ask you to look upon the evidence not as a simple matter of a kidnapping, but as the theft of a human life. We ask that no one in this territory has the right to own the labor, the breath, the soul of another. We ask for a verdict that declares once and for all that the era of the master and the slave is buried forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. And opening statements for the defense.
Yeah.
Jury, I have nothing so eloquent prepared for you because it does not rest on the defense.
Hey, I can't hear him.
Apologies. I have nothing so eloquent prepared for you because the nature of justice is it does not rest on the defense to prove innocent or not. It rests on, the burden rests on the prosecution to prove guilty. I don't need to wax on philosophically or poetically in this regard. What we will show you plainly today, without any baubles or fancy wording, that the charges levied against the defendants are not only false and unjust, but frankly a shameful affront to the trials, tribulations, struggles, and oppression of the people in America's history. That the defendants have been held unjustly for weeks, despite our best efforts to make the law see reason, and that frankly that they were held there with no precedent for the charges, nor even remotely the meeting of any of the criteria for this charge of slavery, and that this has been nothing more than a simple violation of their constitutional rights. Now, the defense will make plain that our defendants have made mistakes. That much is very clear, and we do not argue that. What we argue is the utter lack of reason and justice on the part of the West Elizabeth Sheriff's Department in the charging of the crime of slavery and several others, that as a punishment and far exceeding that of what their actual crimes may be. So we intend to show you now that while our defendants are perhaps not angels of their own right, they are most certainly not slavers, and that this is a debase and ridiculous assertion. That is all.
Thank you, Counselor. All right. Prosecution, if you could please, for clarity for the members of the jury, state clearly what the charges are for the defendants.
Yes, Your Honor. So the charges in total for Gabriel Blaine include possession and sale of items prohibited by law, resisting a peace officer, battery, aggravated kidnapping, slavery, as well as possession and sale of a great number of items prohibited by law.
Could you clarify the difference between those two?
The difference between the two are the amounts of the items. A great number is over 10.
Thank you, Counselor.
The charges for Maryjane Dawson include possession and sale of items prohibited by law.
Your Honor, excuse me, but we're here not disputing any of these charges except slavery.
Mr.
Why is
Hayes,
there
yes, we
relevant
are.
to be here?
Yes,
We
we
are?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I'm fighting everything.
Please continue.
Resisting a peace officer. Battery. Aggravated kidnapping and slavery.
Thank you, Sheriff. All right. So, as the burden is upon the state, you will go first here. You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state will call upon Ophelia Cooper.
Miss Cooper, could you please come to the witness stand here on my left?
Sure.
Alrighty, and raise your hands for me, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I will, so help me God.
Alrighty, you may be seated. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes, Counselor.
there was something else I wanted to ask before we called the witness. May I approach?
You may. Both, please.
Sorry, I was a little,
You too, prosecutor. Come on. Don't be
I was
afraid.
a little slow on the draw there before you caught her up. I would like to ask the court to read the definition of slavery and the law as written to the jury.
Okay. Alrighty, members of the jury, it has been requested that the law of slavery be read as written to you. I'll do that now. Slavery under our penal code reads, let's see here, whoever holds or returns any person to a condition of slave or arrests any person with the intent of placing him or returning him to a condition of slave.
And Your Honor, as the pertinent term, slave is in the word slavery. The word is in the definition. May I get a definition of what this law applies to? What is the criteria?
Well, as it is the court's responsibility to interpret laws often, I would say that the definition of slave, let me pull some documentation up here. Let's see. Okay.
Is this documentation public?
It's prior precedent from United States code and rulings from the past.
All right.
Let's see. The knowing exercise of ownership, control, or dominion over another person, such that the person is deprived of their liberty and compelled to labor or remain under control against their will, as though they were property.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Of course. Prosecution, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cooper, did you visit Strawberry the night of February 18th?
I
Of
did,
this year?
yes. Mhm.
What happened when you did so?
I had just entered town and was greeted by Gabriel and Maryjane, and it was the first time I had met them. They started asking me some questions about, if I had much experience working with food and beverage. I told them that I did, and they asked if I had experience with alcohol. I told them that as a saloon owner, I know how to brew beer and I have the license to do so. And upon hearing that, they held me at gunpoint, ordered me to get off my horse and put my hands up, to which I did, and they hog-tied me, put me back on my horse and rode me out to tall trees where, again, at gunpoint after having my guns taken from me. They made me brew moonshine at an illegal still, of course, and I made my escape after.
Objection, Your Honor. How does he know it's illegal or illegal still? Is she a professional?
The witness will refrain from presuming legality.
Sure.
Thank you.
At the moonshine still, I, at gunpoint, completed the brewing process and made my escape on my horse. After the fact, they returned my guns, and I ran away.
So, during the time you were commanded to make the moonshine, were you free to go?
Not during the process, only after I had finished.
See, and just so that we're all crystal clear, were you there in the middle of tall trees operating that unlicensed still on
I
your own
was.
accord?
No.
Were there threats made against your person while you were there?
I would imagine guns pointed at me would count as such, so yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Counselor. And the defense has a moment to cross-examine.
All right. Ms. Cooper,
Yes, sir.
thank you for being here today. I know this is difficult to talk about. I'd like to ask a few questions.
Of course.
When you were in Tall Trees, which, if any, of the defendants do you claim were holding guns on you?
Both of them were. I believe Gabriel was holding 2 pistols or revolvers, and Maryjane had a long arm.
You could say that for certain.
Yes.
When you were in Strawberry and the 2 approached you,
Mm-hmm.
did they purchase you?
They did not purchase me, no.
Did they file any sort of paperwork with the state or engage in any kind of trade or sale of your being?
Not to my knowledge.
Right. Did they own you? Possess you?
I mean, I didn't really have much free will to do or act as I wanted.
Did not ask about that. I asked if you were owned.
Well, could you define what being owned means?
To be possessed as an object, to be traded, sold, or used.
Were you a property of theirs?
Property.
Objection, Your Honor, leading the witness.
Merely helping
She
out.
asked for a definition. I am answering her.
I mean,
I'd like to hear this out.
I guess I can't quite say. I was made to act in a way that I didn't want to. I didn't feel like myself.
Ms. Cooper, please answer the question and only the question. Were you owned or were you property in any way, shape, or form? If you would need an example, I can provide one.
Sure, give me an example, please, Dr. Kane.
Africans taken from Africa in chains and sold into possession to people for the entirety of their lives. That is an example of slavery.
I would say the only missing part was that I wasn't purchased, but I was in ropes and I was taken from where I was.
Forever?
No, they let me go after.
Is it typical? Well, I won't ask. So, you believe you are a
Objection,
slave?
relevance. The duration of slavery does not exclude it from
Judge,
being
we are
slavery.
trying to determine if she was a property at the moment when she was hogtied or not. There is a relevance to that.
Overruled. I want to hear this.
What was the question, Doctor?
The question is, sorry, the distraction, let me rephrase. The charge here is slavery. So, being that slavery is to be deprived of liberty and compelled them to remain under control against their will as though they are property. By your own testimony, you were given your weapons back and allowed to leave. Is that correct?
Yes, after I had completed the job that they had made me, yes.
Approximately how long were you brewing moonshine?
The whole process from, being taken to being let go was probably about 10 minutes.
Would you then... No, I won't ask. So you believe... simple yes or no. It is your testimony that you were purchased and or owned, possessed, whatever. I will read the law again. Controlled, deprived of your liberty as though you were property, and that this constitutes slavery for approximately 10 minutes. Yes or no?
Under that definition, I would say yes.
All right. Now, I'd like to ask a few more questions.
Hmm?
Did the defendants ever cause you any physical pain or harm?
Only when they tackled me to the ground. They didn't shoot me.
Mm-hmm. Which of the defendants touched you?
I believe it was Maryjane who had hogtied me, as well as had taken my guns.
Did either of them assault you, or rather batter you, beat you, anything?
I wouldn't say battered or beaten, no.
Did they put you in chains
They hogtied me, but that was it.
while you were making the moonshine?
No, not then.
All right.
However, I did have the guns pointed at me the entire process.
Mm. All right. Give me one moment to read through my list. All right. No further questions.
Thank you, counselor. Do either the prosecution or the defense have any more questions for the witness?
Could you give us a moment, Judge? I need to speak with my assistant here.
You may have a moment.
All right. All right. One more question, I think. I just want to reiterate because I think there was some confusion. Again, I apologize. to clear anything up, I want to ask one more time. Do you have any proof of ownership or property?
Objection, irrelevance. The way the
It
law
is-
is
it
written
is
does
the
not
core. It
include
is the
that.
core of
It,
the
it does
definition
not
of slavery.
include that prerequisite.
It does
The
possession.
way the law is written
ownership.
does not.
Then what is ownership?
Whoever holds or returns any person to a condition of slave, or arrests any person with the intent of placing him or returning him to a condition of a slave.
And
That
the
does not
defense
mention
intends to
paperwork.
prove that she is not a slave because it does not meet the criteria for a slave. As was spoken by you, Judge.
Simply merely trying to point out that she was not a property when she was hogtied.
Overruled. Proceed.
Ms. Cooper, I'd just like to understand for the court, because of the definition of slave that we all understand, is that you must be property. Was there any bill of sale or agreement of any kind at the time of your being hogtied to indicate that you were being bought or owned as property?
To my knowledge, no.
Thank you.
J-
No further questions.
Just
Okay.
clarification, Your Honor. That's a description that has been accepted, that there must be paperwork.
Not
The
No.
Judge, not just paperwork, but also any way demonstrated that she was owned. In any case, she wasn't. Simple as that. Even if there is no paperwork, she was not owned by my clients here.
the general understanding of slavery in the United States dictates that they are property. Yes.
Property, yes. A paper trail, this line of questioning from the assistant attorney here, asserting that if there is no paper trail, there is
I
no
said
ownership.
Agreement can
That
be
is patently false.
agreement can be verbal. I never said it had to only be paperwork. I said
Counselors,
paperwork-
counselors, this is why we have the jury here. They'll decide. Miss Cooper, I apologize. You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, we pretty much won.
Mind if I sit next to you, Mr. Barnes?
Okay, prosecution, please call your next witness.
The state will call Deputy Ross Hale to the stand.
Mr. Hale, if you could please take the stand to my left. And raise your hands once you get up here. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear, help me God.
Alrighty, you may be seated. Thank you. And make sure to speak up so everybody here can hear you.
Okay.
May we proceed?
Yes, sorry. Please.
Deputy Hale, did you reply to a report of moonshining on February 18th?
Yes, I did.
What happened when you did so?
Well, I got a report. I chose different path because I got different report for moonshining. And when I approach, I hit my horse, observe like we trained. And when I tried to move to observe closer, I saw the moonshine still there, so I approached there, and two individuals were hidden there, and it ended with a gunfight, and I was downed. So lucky for me, uh, you and Deputy Frida came right after.
Now, when you say two individuals, which two do you mean?
Those ones that are sitting on your left. I didn't catch their names.
Okay. Now, did they open fire on you when they saw you?
Yes, they did.
All right. Were any words spoken between you and the two defendants here before the gunfire started?
Well, when I approached, I didn't have a chance to introduce myself that I am from the sheriff office. Only the bullets start flying.
I see. I see. So, immediately upon seeing you, the assault began.
Yes, that's correct.
And just to reiterate, what was the result of that gunfight between you two, with you three?
Well, we exchanged shots, and I was downed. And when I fell down, a couple of seconds later, you and Deputy Frida approached.
Thank you, Deputy Ross. No further questions.
Thank you, counselor. And defense? Cross examination?
Deputy Hale.
Yes.
When you responded to the tip that there was moonshining, and you approached, about how long do you think it was that you were observing, as you said you were trained to do?
Well, I observed for a minute from the safe distance with my binoculars, so I could see what was exactly happening there and who was there. But I didn't see any suspects around because they were hidden quite good. Then I approached the moonshine still to get a better look, and the bullets start flying.
When you were observing, did you see did you see Miss Cooper anywhere nearby?
Well, I did not see Miss Cooper around.
Okay. I believe you answered this. When you approached, you you said you went up to the still itself. You went up to it.
Well, I approached it. I didn't get to the still.
Okay. And during all this time, when did you announce yourself?
I didn't have any chance to announce myself because the bullets start flying before I ever spoke.
You said you had at least a minute that you were there. A minute is
Yeah,
not enough
to
time.
observe from the safe distance.
You did not announce yourself at all in that time.
Well, I did not announce myself while I was observing.
Thank you. Did you have a weapon in your hand?
On oh, what do you mean by that?
Were you armed? Were you holding a weapon at any point?
When I approached the still, I did not hold the weapon in my hands until the
Bullshit.
bullets start flying.
All right. Where, from what direction, to your best recollection, did bullets start flying?
Well, when I approached the moonshine still, there were in like on the right side, on the up the hill.
And when the bullets that you claim to have seen or heard, did any of them impact you at that point?
Yeah, yes, they did.
And did you announce yourself at any point or ask them to stop shooting or anything like that?
Well, when the bullets are flying, I don't have time to introduce myself, and I just return fire.
So you approached the still and walked around unannounced and were accosted. That is your testimony.
Well, not quite that. I approached the moonshine still. First, I observed from the safe distance. Then I approach, but before I approached the moonshine still, the bullets start flying. So I didn't have any chance to even get on the hill when the moonshine was.
All right. Let me confer with counsel just to make sure that's all that are questioned.
I would like to ask one question.
Right.
Mr. Ross, what are the procedures when, let's say, there's a bank robbery and the lawmen arrive on the place? What is the procedures?
Well, there's someone who's gonna, how do I say, approach the bank and tell other lawmen to where they when, how do I say in English, when I want them to be. I mean, on top of the bank.
Yes,
Or,
yes. But before that, what do you
yeah, well,
do?
they announce themselves in front of the
Exactly.
bank.
Do you announce this yourselves when you see somebody in the bank, or you announce it before you even see anyone in the bank? Like, let's say you would be in front of the bank.
Well, in front of the bank.
Okay. So, can I ask you then, why didn't you just announce yourself even when you didn't see anyone when you were on the scene?
Well, I was quite far, and when I approached to be in shouting rage, they start firing.
Yes, but you said you approached the still, correct?
Yeah, I approached, but I was
Okay,
not
why didn't you
on the.
announce during that your presence like you would normally do in any kind of these situations?
The
Well,
sheriff's
would
office
you?
is not in the habit of announcing ourselves to trees.
Objection. The counsel cannot testify.
If I didn't see anyone, why I would announce myself? The sheriff's right.
You just agreed with my example, and you confirmed that you would announce yourself even if you didn't see any bank robbers in the bank. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, counselor. Alrighty. If there are no further questions from prosecution for the witness. Alrighty. Deputy Hale, you may step down. Next witness, please.
Yes, prosecution would like to call Deputy Frida Broadside to the stand.
Alrighty. Deputy Broadsire, if you could approach the witness stand to my left.
Not a problem.
And raise your hands, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Alrighty, you may be seated. Thank you.
Deputy Broadside, did you respond to a report of moonshining on February 18th?
That is true.
What happened when you did so?
I, Deputy Frida Broadsire, und the Sheriff here, Sheriff Barnes, were out in Big Valley doing patrol when a local alerted us of seeing a moonshine still in tall trees. We made our way there, Once we got close, we slowed
Objection,
down.
Your Honor. Defense is having a hard time understanding what she's saying. Maybe have request an interpreter or something.
Oh my god. I can understand.
Overruled.
Oh, okay.
Please continue with your testimony.
Not a problem. As we got closer, we began to slow down. As we approached the hill where the moonshine still was on, the Polizeimeister, Sheriff, came up the hill first, announcing Sheriff's office. I came up slowly behind him, giving a moment of pause. As he got up there and I handed up there shortly after, I saw Mr. Gabriel Blaine with two pistols held up at the sheriff, telling him, "Don't move, hands up." At which point, given previous history I have had with the defendant, I took a shot at him, knowing his violent history personally. Shortly after, he was downed. There were shots that came from the trees down below us. From there on, we exchanged fire with the individual who shot down the sheriff's horse, and soon after I had shot down as well. Once we got collected ourselves after the gunfire, we made our way to collect the suspects, where we are also found down there near where Maryjane Dawson, who had been on the bottom as the hill had been, was Ross Hill, Deputy Ross Hill. We had brought the two individuals up to make sure they were stable enough to move and began transporting them to Black Fossa.
Deputy, you mentioned a personal history with Gabriel Blaine. What would that be?
I have not the exact date.
Your Honor, objection. His personal history is irrelevant in this case. We are trying to establish what happened at that time and that time alone.
If we're adjudicating all the charges, it is very relevant.
I think I want
Your
to hear
Honor,
this.
his personal history, which
Overruled.
is again,
A few weeks prior to the incident described on February 18th, I don't have an exact date, I had known of a description of a suspect that was wanted, matching that of one Gabriel Blaine. I had seen him in Black Fossa and approached him, telling him my name, I was Deputy Frida Portsire, and that I wanted to talk with him. He tried to walk away. At this point, I insisted to him that I was going to talk with him, and he asked me, "You want to talk?" I said yes. He then proceeded to get off of his horse, pull out his lasso, and hog tie me, put me on the back of the horse, and hide me out into the middle of the plains in West Elizabeth. From there on, he put me on the ground and began a speech of a sort, claiming that West Elizabeth belongs to the O'Driscolls. And when
Your
I
Honor,
refused...
objection. How is this relevant to the current case?
I'm inclined to agree with that
The
objection.
charges include kidnapping.
This
That's a
kidnapping was
separate
not
case.
what she's talking about. So why? How is this relevant?
This is establishing a base for his behavior.
Your Honor, come on. We cannot use the history or past to this. We are trying to do what we do in this case.
Establishing a pattern is paramount to prosecution sometimes. I think this is fine. Overruled.
All right.
From when he put me on the ground and gave me the speech and all that, he then proceeded to take my map, my lighter, and some geld from my pocket, $22, I believe, to be exact. When I refused to agree with him that West Elizabeth belonged to the O'Driscolls, he began to stomp my face in, kicking me in the head twice. From there on, he got on his horse and rode off, telling me to think about the lesson he has taught me.
Issues.
Thank you, Deputy. No further questions.
Thank you, counselor. And to the defense for cross-examination.
Oh, you go ahead.
All right. Thank you again for your time.
Mm-hmm.
It is your testimony then that you arrived with the sheriff, and if you don't mind explaining again for me to better understand the whereabouts of how things played out geographically, were the two of you together for the time being? It sounded like you said you were sort of separate.
We had been together on a patrol. As we approached Torties, he took point and approached up the hill first. I held back for a moment, not too long, maybe 5 or so seconds, and came up right after.
Were the two of you in speaking range at a normal volume?
I believe so.
And did you announce yourself when you arrived?
The Polizeimmeister announced sheriff's office. Don't see the relevance of announcing it and being redundant when we were both there.
That's all right. You don't need to go on. And at the time, you said you saw the sheriff and the defendants. They seemed to be in a conversation. Can you explain what that conversation was about? To the best of your recollection.
Yeah, when we rode up, the defendant, Gabriel Blaine, had 2 pistols or revolvers, handguns pointed at the Polizeimmeister, or the sheriff, as well as the sheriff had then taken out his, and they were in a bit of a standoff. Gabriel Blaine told him to put his hands up, don't move, something like that, accord, and I took the shot. He had guns on the sheriff, so I took the shot.
So you opened fire first.
Indeed.
And you opened fire while you claim that the defendants allegedly had guns pointed at the sheriff.
That is the case, indeed.
Did it occur to you that at the time an escalation of force could have unintended consequences?
At the time, I saw a man pointing guns at the sheriff, and my first thought was, I don't want someone else to get hurt.
And yet you started a gunfight.
With a man who has...
Yes or no?
Yes.
Did you attempt to de-escalate?
9, no.
Did you try to have a conversation with them?
No.
Thank you. When the defendants were arrested, could you explain to me how they were pushed into the cell?
Maryjane Dawson, seeming to be in the worst of the 2 conditions, was taken to a nurse first. I paid the money out of my own pocket to help her and get her patched up. She was then searched and put into a cell. Whereas after Gabriel Blaine and what was held was then after, well, clearance of events. Maryjane Dawson had received care first, put in a cell, then Ross Hill, and then Gabriel Blaine.
Mm-hmm. At the time that they were arrested, had the allegations of slavery been made aware to you?
We had not been notified of that report as of yet.
Did you, when you approached the moonshining report, did you see any signs of Miss Cooper?
9, no.
How did you become aware of Miss Cooper's involvement?
Miss Cooper made the report herself to the Polizeimeister, who then informed me.
At what point did this occur?
Maybe 20 or 30 minutes after we had gotten them in the cell.
I imagine that changed the timbre of the mood, didn't it?
Your Honor, I object. This line of questioning is immaterial to the charges.
I don't know that I agree.
Well, we are talking about laying history. That door was open.
It was. I'm going.
History of repeated behavior. The way
I'm
that
laying the
charges are
foundation, Judge.
brought are not relevant to the charges themselves.
That could have been said about his story.
I think it is overruled.
Would you say then that the timbre of the mood changed at the point you learned of Miss Cooper's report? that she'd
If
been
I am
kidnapped?
completely honest, you are using a word in English that I have no knowledge
Apologies.
of.
The mood changed. Did the mood change?
It definitely became more serious, yeah.
How would you describe your mood after hearing that?
My mood?
Mhm.
Well, I would say, just as anyone who would hear about such a thing happening to someone they consider a friend, I was upset, as would anyone, I would feel.
Did you have any interactions with the defendants while they were in the cell?
How is this relevant to the charges?
It is as relevant as talking about her history with the defendant.
Her mood has no bearing on the charges that were brought against them.
Would I ask the witness to please answer the question?
What was the question again?
Did you have any interactions with the defendants while they were in the cell?
Of course, they are questioning, talking, trying to get information, standard procedures.
How did that conversation go? What did you talk about?
Trying to get information in regards to the location of the little hideout. Trying to get information about what they did.
That's all you talked about?
If you're asking me to remember everything, I do apologize.
Well, I am asking you to recall the things you questioned the defendants on while they were in custody. Yes, I am asking you to remember that. It is quite pertinent when the lives of two people are on the line, yes.
Yeah, we talked about what they did, where they are operating out of, and well, what they did was wrong. Yeah.
That is the only interaction you had with them. In the cell, that is.
This is a self-serving declaration.
It's just a yes or no. Is that the only interaction? Questioning is that's all that happened, yes or no?
I may have some things that I don't quite remember to the T, but to my recollection, yeah.
Okay. Let me make sure that counsel has no other questions.
I have one more question, and after that, Judge, if you would be so kind and have maybe some more recession, I'm gonna get hungry. Anyways, you were present when Mr. Blaine and MJ was arrested at the scene, right?
That is the case, yeah.
Did you search him?
Him, yeah.
Did you search her?
Yeah. Maybe not
Did
at
you-
the scene, but afterwards.
Oh, so now that's fine. What can you tell me? What did you find on the person of Maryjane during the search?
Some weapons,
Mm-hmm.
food.
Mm-hmm. Did you find a lasso?
Not to my recollection.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you, counselor. Okay, unless there are further questions from either party, I'll go ahead and dismiss the witness. Oh, okay. Deputy, you are dismissed. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, let's take a 5-minute recess for food and drink. We'll reconvene here in 5 minutes promptly.
Beautiful.
Jury, you can go to the room behind me to my left here. Again, you are not to talk about this case with anybody, including yourselves. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, we are allowed to ask questions during this recess, though, about any legality clarifications.
No, that's
That's talking about the case.
that's talking about the case.
All right, Your Honor.
Actually, wait. I think Mr. Blaine is still
Yes, Your Honor.
drinking some water.
All right, we'll give him some time.
And we will be calling Mr. Blaine next.
Okay, all right. I'm assuming, based on the lists I was given, that the prosecution has no more witnesses.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Now you go ahead. You know, people see you more as like a gentleman. You know, they see me, they see a Driscoll.
Miss Elizabeth, don't capitulate to organized crime. Sorry, you got to do your job.
The defense calls Mr. Blaine as a witness.
Mr. Blaine, if you could take the stand to my left here and raise your
Wait,
hands.
Isn't it your right?
My left.
Right?
Oh,
the
where you
jury's
want me to sit?
To my left. Keep
the
walking.
jury's side.
The jury side.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, Blaine.
Sorry.
I just got confused.
And go ahead and raise your hands for me.
Yeah.
All right. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty. You may have a seat there.
Am I good to go?
Yes, please.
Mr. Blaine, thank you for being here.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice.
No, no, I suppose not. All right. So from the top, prior to the 18th, have you ever met Miss Cooper before?
I'm not.
When you met her, how did that conversation go?
Well, I told her that I needed a little bit of help. She offered to help. She asked what I need help with. I told her making some untaxed liquor. Um, asked her what she did. She said she's a saloon owner. She makes liquor and whatnot.
Hmm. And when you asked her to help her, did you use any threat of force?
Well, not at first.
But you did eventually.
Yeah, I withdrew my weapons and
Mhm.
asked her to get down from the horse.
At this point, do you recall any agreement to enter Miss Cooper into your property?
No, not at all. I told her it was, well, no, not at all.
Are you familiar with the plights of the people of the American past who were enslaved in chains?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Was it your intent to reduce her to such a state?
Absolutely not.
Well, what did you intend then?
I intended her to help make some untaxed liquor, and as I told her, it would be real quick, and I would pay her $9, and that would be that. She'd be on her way.
About how long did you think it would take?
Well, I thought it'd take, oh, I don't know, maybe 25 minutes.
Hmm. And did you ever, besides, well, I'll ask you, did you ever tie her up?
I did not tie her up. I did
Wait,
tie her
yes
up.
or no?
Yes,
Jesus
tied her.
Christ, Blaine, come on, be honest.
I did. I got confused.
You tied her up. All
I did.
right. And at which point, what happened then?
Well, tied her up in Strawberry, put her on a horse, and we made our way out of town up to Talters. That's when I told her there's nothing to be worried about. I, you know, told her she has real steady hands, and it's gonna be just like making a cocktail.
Why did you need her help in the first?
Well, I've dabbled in making untaxed liquor before, and well, I just was no good at it.
Mm. Well, you had Miss Mary with you. Why not ask Miss Mary?
Well, we wanted somebody a little bit more experienced.
Right. So you would say that neither of you have enough experience to do so.
Yes.
All right. So after about how long do you think it took to brew up that untaxed liquor?
Oh hell, the whole thing took about, I don't know. I mean, you talking just making it, or from Strawberry to there?
Both.
Well, from about Strawberry to get there took us about maybe 10 minutes
Hmm.
tops. The liquor, like I said, she seemed pretty experienced. Took her, oh, I don't know, less than a minute, 2 minutes maybe, less than, yeah, about a minute.
And during this time, you had her weapons, correct?
Yeah.
And after it was finished, what happened to the weapons then?
Well, she came back. After she did that, we gave her her weapons. I tried to give her $9, and uh, she got on her horse and left. She didn't take the money. That was that.
Did you
Well,
chase her?
absolutely not.
Did you shoot a gun at her?
Absolutely not.
Did you beat her?
Absolutely not.
Did you intend to keep her as property or indentured to?
Absolutely not.
Did you make it clear to her at the beginning you had no intents to do so?
I did.
After she was gone, at this point, at some point, I guess, the person we now know is Mr. Hale approached. Did he announce himself?
Who?
Deputy Hale. Did you ever hear him announce himself?
No. I'm not sure who Deputy Hale is.
It is the man who testified earlier.
Oh, yeah. No. No, not at all.
To your best recollection, at what point did gunfire occur with
Well,
Mr. Hale?
Yeah. Well, I have to, Miss Cooper got up and left. I stayed around, talked to Mary for a minute. Then we heard wolves. We looked into the forest a little bit, and we saw, well, we didn't know it was no deputy. We see somebody getting chased by wolves, so we keep an eye on him. That was about it. We didn't see nothing. We saw him crouched down and sneaking around. And I told Mary, well, who the hell's that? Mary don't know. So we just kind of watched him for a minute. They came up from the hill. We keep an eye on him. He drew a gun. We drew ours. He didn't say nothing. He started shooting. So, I mean, look, when you're making untaxed liquor, it's, a lot of people come up. It can be dangerous. So we thought we were just getting attacked.
Were you able to see the deputy's clothing up close?
No, just a black coat. That's pretty much it. By the time, yeah, just
Was
a
there
black
anything between you and him that could have obscured your line of sight?
coat. Well, yeah, there's a lot of trees and tall trees.
At the time that you received gunfire, were you aware that you were under fire from a deputy?
Not at all.
Do you believe that you were acting in self-defense?
Of course.
Do you contest that the still belonged to you?
Well, I don't know what the word contest means.
Do you agree, anyway, that the still belongs to you?
Yeah.
Does it belong to anyone else?
No, it's my still.
Oh, all right. And I think that's all I have. Let me talk to counsel. Thank you.
I think it's all good. I ain't gonna ask anything.
Let me double check my notes. Sorry for the delay. When you were in the cell,
Yeah.
were you told what you were going to be charged?
Yeah.
Were you
I didn't hear that. What?
told you were going to be charged?
I think you got maybe a frog in your throat.
Can
Not very well.
Drink a glass of water, doctor, or something.
oh,
No.
Want me to take over questioning?
how about now?
Better.
I,
Very good.
See, a glass of water makes
Is that better?
miracles.
Yes.
yeah.
Sorry about that. When you were in the cell, I was asking, what were you told you were being charged with?
believe I was getting charged with kidnapping, um, distribution maybe from the liquor. Um, and then they came back. That's what they charged us for. And then they left for a little while and came back, and he told me I was getting charged with slavery.
Okay.
Objection.
On what grounds?
The kidnapping charges were not levied until Miss Cooper gave her witness statement.
I mean, that's just to his recollection. Is he objecting to the witness's answer or my question?
That wasn't a series of events.
You're not on the podium telling the truth, Sheriff. Why don't you let the defendant there tell his version, right?
You can try.
He is under oath, too.
The defendant is under oath to tell the truth as best he can based on his recollection, so overruled.
Do you want to rephrase your answer in chronological order to the best of your ability?
Okay. Then yeah, I guess chronologically, I was charged with distribution, and I was in that cell for a while, and eventually I was charged with kidnapping. So I don't know. Telling you, from what my memory is.
Okay. While you're in the cell, how did you exchange any words with the deputies?
Yeah, a little bit.
What did you talk about?
Can't remember all of it. You get in that cell and you just start talking. I don't know. Maybe I was running my mouth, they ran their mouth, and sometimes when I get in there and I start seeing them deputies get hot-headed, and well, I know it's a sin, but I'd like to poke that bear.
So you would say tensions were high.
Yeah.
Did anything beyond words? Were anything beyond
This
words
is
exchanged?
objection. This is immaterial. It's
between
immaterial
you
to the
and
charges that are
the mob?
levied.
Counselor, I am curious what this has to do with the charges.
The defense wishes to establish a pattern of behavior from the sheriff's department of a violation of civil rights in the rights of the people, that of let me pull the wording up for you. Cruel and unusual punishment and excessive sentencing, Article 6. That is the foundation I'm trying to lay.
Objection overruled. You can continue.
Besides verbal communication, was anything else, were you witness to anything else exchanged between, and what was that?
Well, after they went out for a while and came back, sheriff looked real pissed off. He had a conversation with the deputy over there, the German one, Plotzauer, that's right. And they talked for a little while. She got all pissed. And well, me and Mary just chit-chatting with each other outside the cell. And Plotzauer came and pointed a gun right at Mary while she was in the cell and told Mary to shut, well, forgive my language, but told Mary to shut the fuck up.
Oh my God. I am not surprised.
Well, it
She
ain't.
pointed a gun?
Well, yeah, but she didn't fire it. She fired it at me, last time I was in jail.
What do you mean, the weeks prior that they talked about earlier when you were arrested?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Judge, you will
Objection.
see
This
the
is
foundation I
immaterial
am
to the
laying.
charges that are levied.
The door was opened, Judge.
The door was opened. It establishes a
You're on
pattern of
hold,
behavior.
Sheriff.
So a few weeks ago, the testimony that you heard, that the jury heard, was that you and Miss Broadsire had an altercation. You
Yeah,
were put in a cell.
yeah,
It is, and you are saying now, yes or no, you were shot at while in the cell by the deputy,
yeah,
Deputy Broadsire.
yeah.
Right. And jumping back now to the standoff that you and the sheriff had outside the still.
Yeah.
The testimony we heard that you heard that Miss Frida Broadsire fired first. Is that correct?
I mean that's what I hear. I don't remember much.
That's fine. When you were in the standoff, your guns were pointed at the time the sheriff. Yes, as you've
Yeah.
come to understand. And you were shot at by someone other than the sheriff.
That yes.
Thank you. I'm going to ask counsel if he has any further questions.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
No further questions from the defense.
Prosecution, your witness.
Mr. Blaine, when you met Miss Cooper in Strawberry, when Miss Cooper was hogtied, was she free to leave before or after you hogtied her and put her on her own horse?
Would she say that again?
When you threw her to the ground and violently hogtied the woman here, Miss Cooper, was she free to leave?
If she could get out of those knots, yeah.
So, when you took Miss Cooper to the moonshine location in Tall Trees, how did you keep her there?
In Talters?
Right, yes.
Well, took her guns from her and she didn't want them nothing.
I see. Now, approximately the distance between you and I is when we first met in Tall Trees on that hill. Can you see the badge currently affixed to my chest?
Yeah.
And was I wearing said badge when we saw each other in Tall Trees?
I did not see it. Of course, you were wearing different clothes.
Mm-hmm. So, when I announced myself as being with the sheriff's office, why did you then choose to draw your two sidearms and point them at me?
Well, I didn't hear you say anything. I didn't hear you say nothing.
Well, why, when you saw me with this badge attached to my chest, and I announced myself, why did you draw your weapons on me?
Well, again, I didn't see no
Asked and
badge.
answered. Objection.
I didn't see no badge, and
Hold on. This has already been established. He's already answered this.
I see. Approximately how many bullets did you fire into myself and Deputy Broadside during the firefight?
0.
How many shots did you fire at Deputy Hale? Deputy Hale, just for your reference, is that man right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, good to see you there again. But, I tend not to count when I'm getting ambushed. I just kind of protect myself and keep going till I feel like I'm safe.
Are you ambushed often in your line of illicit work?
Well, it is Wild West out there. You never be too trustworthy. And it ain't exactly like I knew you were law. I mean, hell, it ain't like y'all have uniforms or nothing.
Now, in Strawberry, but before this incident, um, when did you make the determination you were going to kidnap Miss Cooper against her will and force her to cook up your moonshine?
Well, after I talked with her and she said she was owned a saloon and that she's made drinks and whatnot, I figured she had steady hands.
And was it your intention to defer guilt from yourself by enlisting an innocent third party?
Defoe, what's that big word mean?
Well, to take it off of you and to put it on to an innocent person.
Yeah. What do you mean? Guilt?
Right, legal culpability.
No, I just didn't want to get blown up.
I see. So you enlisted Miss Cooper here. You forced her into servitude uh, to avoid the physical risks of moonshining.
Objection, Your Honor. Prosecutor used the word enlisted. That's not what happened.
Apologies about kidnapped. You're right. I apologize. So you kidnapped Miss Cooper so that she could do the dangerous part of moonshining for you.
Yeah.
Now, before you were approached by members of law enforcement twice, first being Deputy Hale, second being myself and Deputy Broadsire. Had you talked with Mary Jane about what your reaction to anyone approaching you during the moonshining operation? Did you all come up with a plan?
No, I don't believe so.
And when Deputy Hale was bleeding out on the ground, what was your reaction?
Well, we wanted to see who it was. Um, so Mary took the body and we tried to identify it. Face we didn't know. We flipped it over. We saw a badge. At that point, Mary started to check and make sure they were alive and breathing, and was looking for gunshot wounds, see if she could bandage them up or anything.
So you acknowledged the possession and wearing of a badge denotes a member of the sheriff's office?
Sure.
Now, on the way from Strawberry, when you had kidnapped Miss Cooper here, and she was on the back of her own horse, who rode that horse?
I believe that was Mary.
And when you got to the location, what happened then? Was the moonshine still set up beforehand, or did you set it up once you made it there?
I'll set it up there.
I see. And then when you got there, how did you inform Miss Cooper about what her job would be?
Well, I told Mary to get her down and relieve her of her weapons because I didn't want to get shot. I set up the still. And then I told Cooper, well, you got to be real careful. Uh, you got to have real steady hands. And just like mixing a cocktail, I think. And told her to be exact on how to do it. And that when this was over, that was it. She'd be on her way. We pay her $9, get everything back.
And did Miss Cooper accept this alleged offer of payment?
But she got the hell out of there before I could. We gave her weapons. And I was trying to get money, and she ran to her horse. I told Mary, let it be, get on out of here. She left.
So, in your estimation, would you say that Miss Cooper was scared?
I don't know.
Objection, Your Honor. Where the hell is this going? I'm a little bit confused.
I'm trying to get first-hand information of the scene.
Well, it's been already discussed by multiple people.
But this is from the perspective of the defendant. Overruled.
Yes. What were your plans for the moonshine after it was produced?
Well, if it was pretty good moonshine, probably me and Mary have a nice fire and get drunk. The hell else you do with good liquor?
So you had no intention of peddling it to other folks?
Oh, I didn't even know there was a market for that.
All right, no further questions.
Okay. Unless there's anything else from the defense counsel, we can let the witness step down. Thank you, Mr. Blaine.
Thank you.
No, we're good. We're good. At this point, Judge, I would like to say that since the West Elizabeth Sheriff's Office has been shooting people in the cells, perhaps we could ask them to disarm themselves here because I feel a little bit unsafe right now.
Objection, Your Honor. No one was shot in the cells.
That's not happening.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The defense would like to call Maryjane Dawson to the stand.
Yes, please. To my left here, please.
Sorry, it's a bit fuzzy on account of my glasses being still in tall trees.
Oh, no worries. Take your time. All right. Go ahead and please raise your hands. Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do, so help me God.
All right, you may be seated. Thank you. Your witness.
All right. This will be rather short. Miss Dawson, did you ever hog tie Miss Cooper?
No.
Do you own a lasso?
No.
Do you know how to brew moonshine?
I never have, and I do not know how.
Do you own a still?
No.
Moment. Did you hear Deputy Hale announce himself?
No.
Did you fire at Deputy Hale first?
No.
Did you hear the Sheriff Barnes announce himself?
No.
Did you fire first?
No. Well, I saw Gabe get dropped. Then, you know.
You saw. Oh, okay. So, well, all right. Let's answer that then. Why did you fire your weapon?
Well, because I saw Mr. Blaine, you know, just get shot. So I started shooting at the sheriff. I didn't even know where the hell the shot came from. It just, you know, happened.
So, at the time Mr. Blaine dropped, were you aware of an impending gun shootout?
Not at that second, no.
Did you have any intent to start a shootout?
No.
At the time of Miss Cooper's kidnapping, did you have any intent to possess, own, deprive her of liberties, or force her into any prolonged servitude?
No.
Did you?
Duration is irrelevant. Objection immaterial. Duration is irrelevant.
You could strike that if you want. It doesn't matter to me.
Jury, disregard the answer to that question. That's stricken from the record.
I will re-ask. When you kidnapped Miss Cooper, did you have any intent to own her?
No.
Do you have any evidence of property or ownership that could be applied to her?
No.
Do you understand what?
Objection irrelevant.
It is the core of this entire trial.
We've already been over this. This is for the jury to decide.
Did you let Miss Cooper go?
We did.
Did you beat her, harm her any kind of way besides the hog tie?
No.
Did you chase after her?
Nope.
When you were arrested and put in a cell, was a weapon pointed at you?
Yes.
Who pointed the weapon at you while you were in the cell?
The big German one. Over there. I don't know. It's fuzzy. My sight, anyway. Right now.
Thank you. Let me check, make sure I have no more questions.
Yeah, we're good.
No further questions.
Alrighty. Prosecution, your witness.
Looks like drinking on a job, too.
Miss Dawson, will you describe the series of events that led you to Strawberry the night of February 18th?
Third time. Okay. We were in Strawberry, Mr. Blaine and myself. Saw Miss Cooper. We decided to.
Well, I'm sorry. Before you were in Strawberry, when did you come up with the plan to visit Strawberry?
Oh, we were by Riggs Station, I think, from what I remember. I don't remember much of that. We went to Strawberry. There wasn't really a plan, but I remember, anyways. So we went there, and we saw Cooper. We didn't know who she was. We asked her for some help. She offered help. And so once Mr. Blaine says he needed help with a, steadier hand, that's when we decided to grab her, and then we took her to Tall Trees.
Are you asserting that the plan to kidnap Miss Cooper was made non-verbally between you two when you met Miss Cooper? Is that what you're saying to the court?
No.
Objection leading?
Well, I'm asking about the series of events leading up to you and Gabriel being in Strawberry and kidnapping someone. Or are you telling me that there was no plan made when you were at Riggs Station or any time before?
That's what she said.
Just want to make sure I'm clear.
Well, okay. So there was a plan to, get somebody and make them help us make the moonshine, because we don't know how.
I see. So when the decision was made to kidnap Miss Cooper, was she free to leave on her own accord after she was thrown to the ground, hogtied, put on her horse? Was she free to leave?
Not at that moment.
And when were her guns taken from her?
after we brought her to Tall Trees.
So her guns were taken. During the process of making the moonshine, did you or Gabriel have a weapon in your hands out of its holster?
I think Gabriel did. I don't recall I did.
So when you were looking for someone to help, as you say,
Kane, you're speaking too loud.
when you were looking for someone to help, as you say, their guns were taken from them. You
Yes.
had your guns ready.
Yes.
Okay. Now, approximately how many rounds did you put into Deputy Hale? Deputy Hale being the man in the blue vest there, before he went down.
I don't count how many bullets I shoot.
I see.
Probably one or two. I don't know.
And as the good deputy was bleeding out on the ground, what did you do with him then?
Well, I went to go identify him, see who he was, and then I saw the badge on his chest, so I started seeing if I could help him, see if he was alive still. You know?
Did you make provisions to bring him to a nurse?
Objection, Your Honor. What the hell? Come on. Really? Bring him to a nurse?
And I'm trying to elucidate her point on helping him.
What is
I'm
this
not a
fantasy on a
doctor.
flying unicorn and dragons and whatnot too? Come on, look at the situation.
Overruled?
During the firefight, the second firefight with myself and Deputy Broadsire, did it occur to you that, seeing as one member of law enforcement that you had already identified was on the ground bleeding out, did it occur to you that that Deputy Broadsire and myself might also be with the West Elizabeth Sheriff's Office?
Objection, Your Honor. He's leading.
I would say objection speculation, if anything.
Both.
Well, we've
Yeah.
established Deputy Hale was identified after he was shot down.
Yes.
So when two more people approached the defendants here, I'm wondering if Miss Dawson.
He is asking her to speculate.
Well, I'm asking in that moment, did Miss Dawson think that we might be also with law enforcement?
Again,
That
he's asking to
is
speculate.
speculation. I'm gonna sustain that.
Understood. How do you know Gabriel Blaine?
He's a friend of mine.
Y'all been friends for a while? Say over 5 years?
I wouldn't say that.
Now, you seem rather new around here, or else you've been hidden away. When you made it here into these 5 states, did you reach out to Mr. Blaine?
No.
Did he reach out to you?
No.
Well, then how is it that you both ended up in Strawberry that night together?
We managed to come across each other in the, where was it? The plains, I think. We recognized each other. And that was that.
And how long between that meeting and the night of the 18th?
I think it was the same night.
Have you ever engaged in moonshining, either as a conspirator or an operator previously?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And what were your plans with the moonshine after it was produced?
Drink it. What else do you do with it?
Were you aware of the copious amounts of drugs on Mr. Blaine's person?
No.
Have you ever engaged in drug using or dealing yourself?
No.
Just moonshine?
I've
Objection, Your Honor. She claims to made a moonshine to drink for herself, not to sell it or distribute.
Maybe objection asked and answered would be the objection.
Sustained.
Can you see the badge affixed on my chest from where you're sitting? If
I
you were to have
cannot.
your glasses.
Maybe.
And did you have your glasses at the beginning of the firefight?
Yes.
No further questions.
Thank you,
Next, I'd
Counselor.
like to recall Blaine one more time, if
Ms. Dawson, you are dismissed. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Blaine, once again.
All right.
Please raise your hands.
Yeah.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated.
I have one further question, only because I did forget.
Okay.
The question simply is, based on your experience that was discussed and testified to in this court in which you were, where you were shot at by Deputy Birdseye in the cell. If when you were at the still and you were pointing your guns at Sheriff Barnes, were you aware that Mr. Birdseye was there?
No, I was not.
Could you not see her from where you were?
No, I had no.
You believed it to be just the sheriff.
Yes.
Had you known that Miss Deputy Birdseye was there, would that have changed your behavior?
Yeah.
What would you have done if you'd seen her?
Well, I would have given up.
Why is that?
Well, I like Potside. Potside made a point last time I saw her in the cell, so she deserves it.
Objection, speculation. We're talking about things that haven't happened.
Agreed. Sustained.
All right. Actually, no further question.
Thank you, Counselor. Prosecution. One more crack at it.
Yes, just a moment here. Let me consult my notes.
Oh, it's been a long evening.
All right. After you were arrested, Mr. Blaine, upon returning to the scene to collect more evidence, Your horse was found there, and on that horse we found 12 vials of black tar heroin, 2 cannabis cigarettes. Where did the black tar heroin come from?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't even know my horse was still there.
Well, no. I apologize for the confusion. I don't mean where the horse was. I mean, how did you become in possession of the 12 black tar heroin?
Yeah, again, I simply don't know.
How about the 2 cannabis cigarettes?
Don't know.
Have you ever
put them there?
have you ever engaged in the production of black tar heroin?
I have.
Objection, relevance.
Well, if we're adjudicating every charge, there's the charge of possession and distribution of a large amount. That's quite a large
Withdrawn.
amount we found.
Thank you, counselor.
And is this the first time you used that moonshine still?
That one, yeah.
Have you used other moonshine stills in these 5 states?
I have once before.
All right, now, can you explain to me the series of events that led you to Strawberry that night?
Again? Really?
Austin answered.
How many
Well,
times?
I asked Maryjane Dawson.
Oh my god.
Overruled. Please answer the question.
Yeah, what are you asking me?
What were the series of events that led you to be in Strawberry the night of the 18th?
Well, I was down by Wood Station on my horse, and I followed a road that said to Strawberry, and I followed that road, and I wound up in Strawberry.
Okay, well, let me be more granular here then. Where and when did you procure the moonshine still?
Oh, couple, 3, 4. I mean, it was over maybe 2 months ago.
And where and when did you procure the ingredients with which you forced Miss Cooper here to make the moonshine?
Over a month.
Between the time Miss Cooper was kidnapped and she was released, what was your plan should she not cooperate?
I don't know.
Objection, speculation.
I'm not sure it is. If he had an actual plan, then it's not speculation.
What if he didn't have a plan?
Then he says he doesn't have a plan. Overruled. Please answer the question.
I thought I did. You asked me what the plan was?
Yes. Should Miss Cooper choose not to cooperate with you?
I don't know. It ain't like I plan a lot of things out. Just kind of go and take what happens and what not.
All right, no further questions.
Thank you, counselor. Mr. Blaine, you may step down.
Thank you. You ever think about getting cushions for these chairs?
I have thought about it.
It'd be nice.
Planning to sit on that chair more often?
Okay. Unless there is any more evidence or witnesses to call forth from either party, I am going to move forward into jury deliberation.
Closing statement.
Closing statements is a good idea. We should do those first. Prosecution.
Blaine, can you goddamn sit on your goddamn place?
Sorry.
For crying out loud. You're embarrassing us.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do hope the point has been made clear that these two O'Driscoll gang members did, in fact, kidnap Miss Cooper, did, in fact, force her to work for them for free. The fact that they offered her money is immaterial. After a person is kidnapped, nothing you can do changes that fact. Miss Cooper was held under duress, under implicit threat of violence, her guns being taken from her, being forced into servitude for these two. The duration is immaterial. In fact, I'd like you to contemplate that word immaterial. The material facts of this case, I believe, do prove that these two intentionally forced Miss Cooper to work for them for free under threat of violence. I believe it's slavery, plain and simple. Don't matter how long, don't matter if they've got plenty of folks been stolen from their home countries, forced elsewhere to work without documentation, with their rights and their weapons stripped from them like Miss Cooper. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Defense?
All right.
Make it shine, Kane.
Jury. You've heard in the testimony a twisting tale of, well, I would honestly say stretches of definitions. But I think the defense has adequately demonstrated that our defendant kidnapped but had no intent, by their own admission and even by the admission of the victim, to hold Miss Cooper for in slavery, which is, I remind you, what is in the law. There is no proof or evidence of any kind of possession of the victim, which the victim agreed with, and thus this charge against the defendants does not meet even the most basic criteria for slavery. Kidnapping, no one argues with, no one contests that, but slavery did not occur here in any shape or form. It is a gross offense to true victims of slavery in the past to consider 15 to 20 minutes of labor slavery equivalent to any way, shape, or form. In fact, I believe that it is more indicative of the habit of the West Elizabeth Sheriff's Department, of their habit of excessive charges and cruel punishment and excessive punishment as a violation of Article 6 of their rights, evidenced further by the testimony that they have been assaulted while in the cell by deputies. Also, the defense has established that Miss Dawson was the one, or rather that Miss Dawson did not hogtie Cooper, as both the witness and the deputies claim, but in fact it was Mr. Blaine that did so, indicating a serious lapse of understanding, as proven that Miss Dawson had no lasso on her person. And this was testified to as well. Likewise, it was also testified to that Miss Dawson, that there were no items that were prohibited by law were found on Miss Dawson, and yet she was charged with it. She was also charged with it with an intent to distribute. No testimony has provided any evidence to support this. Likewise, the defense has established as well that the defendants were unaware of their being approached by law due to their lack of announcing themselves or being able to hear that they'd announced themselves. And the testimony indicates that over a minute of time occurred between the deputy's arrival, and yet no confirmation was sought that they had announced themselves. Thus, when they were fired upon, acted in self-defense, not in resisting of any kind of arrest or resisting a peace officer as they are being charged. And lastly, I think it is rather obvious that by their own admission that the defendants are not contesting that they kidnapped Miss Cooper and that they intended to brew untaxed liquor. What is being contested is that they were shot at, defended themselves, and had no intent to enslave Miss Cooper. I think that has been well and truly demonstrated here. I beg the jury to consider the gravity of the crimes being, or the charges being levied against them, and look at them and consider if these people truly are what we would call literal slavers and participating in an institution of slavery in any way, shape, or form, and that they truly deserve death. Thank you.
Thank you, counselor. Okay. Let's see here. Jury, you have 3 amongst you. Selena, you are the lucky one in the seat closest to me, so you are going to be the jury foreman.
Understood, Your Honor.
You have now heard all the evidence, the testimony of witnesses, and arguments of counsel. It is now your duty to deliberate and render a verdict. I will instruct you on the law that governs your decisions. First, the defendants are presumed innocent, and that presumption remains with them unless you feel that the state has proven the charges beyond reasonable doubt. The burden of proof rests entirely upon the state, never shifts to the defense. A reasonable doubt is not a vague suspicion or possible doubt. It is a doubt based on reason and common sense arising from the evidence or lack of evidence. If after careful and impartial consideration of all the evidence you are firmly convinced that the defendant's guilt on a particular charge, you must find the defendant guilty of that charge. If you are not firmly convinced, you must find the defendant not guilty of that charge. Second, you must consider each defendant separately. The guilt or innocence of one does not determine the guilt or innocence of the other, and each charge must also be considered independently. Third, you must render a separate verdict for each charge. For each defendant, you will determine whether the state has proven possession and sale of prohibited items beyond a reasonable doubt, whether the state has proven resisting a peace officer beyond a reasonable doubt, whether the state has proven battery beyond a reasonable doubt, whether the state has proven aggravated kidnapping beyond a reasonable doubt, and whether the state has proven slavery beyond a reasonable doubt. You may find a defendant guilty of all charges, some charges, or none. Your decision on one charge must not control your decision on another, unless the evidence itself logically connects them. You are the sole judges of credibility. You may believe all, part, or none of any of the witness's testimony. In assessing credibility, you may consider the witness's demeanor while testifying, any interest or bias, whether whether their testimony was consistent or contradicted, whether it was supported or unsupported by other evidence. If you find that a witness intentionally testified falsely about material fact, you may distrust other portions of that witness's testimony. Statements and arguments made by the attorneys are not evidence. And any statement of counsel if any statement of counsel that differs from your recollection of the evidence, your recollection controls. Lastly, you must not be influenced by public opinion, speculation about punishment, personal feelings toward law enforcement, or personal beliefs about the nature of moonshining or criminal activity. Sentencing, if necessary, is the responsibility of the court alone, and you must not factor into your deliberations that sentencing. When you retire to deliberate, I've already selected the foreman for you. The foreman will guide discussion and deliver a written verdict to the court. The verdict must be unanimous. Each juror must agree with the decision. You should deliberate with one another openly and honestly, but you must not surrender an honest conviction merely to reach agreement. When you've reached unanimous verdicts on each charge for each defendant, you may notify me. You may now retire to deliberate, and the rest of us will go to recess while we wait.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ooh.
I will be in my chambers back here for just a moment.
Right.
I
You
will.
got a paper on that? All of the.
Yes. Hold on.
All right. I figured get the very legal side of it all, and remember to keep your voices down while we're back here. Perfect. All right. Got it. Thank you, Jeff.
There you are, of course. I'll be in my chambers.
All right. I think I'm gonna stand you. I have a very important question on these charges.
Okay.
The whether the state has proven battery beyond a reasonable doubt. Who is that aligned with? Is that just in general? Is it towards Cooper, or is it towards the police officers?
Recollect everything, really.
I can't answer that.
Oh. Okay. So it's just in general.
Yeah, me too.
Well, based on the testimony, based
All right.
on every. Yep.
All right. All right. We figured.
I'm sorry. Yep.
No,
I
it's
can't.
okay. It's all right.
Yes.
I believe we have reached our agreements on all counts.
Okay. You can go ahead and hand that to me in an envelope, and then you'll keep a copy to read yourself.
One moment. Let me get this all.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Now do we? What do we do next?
Y'all return to the jury box.
All right.
Okay.
And
Back to
everybody
the
got water, food. We all good?
back to the box.
Yep.
All right.
Well, as a doctor, you know better. Mm. Dr. Kane's cocaine. Sounds real nice.
Okay, we're gonna get back in session here.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
So, how do you procure that cocaine legally then?
All right, is the defense ready?
just pay the license and you're free to take it.
Okay, we're ready to get back in session here. It was on whisper, they could not hear me. All right, Miss Glennis, will you please rise? Has the jury reached a verdict on the charges?
The jury has indeed reached a verdict.
Defendants, please rise. Ms. Glennis, will you please read off your verdict statement?
Of course. The jury has found on the count of possession and sale of prohibited items beyond a reasonable doubt, Gabriel Blaine, not guilty. Maryjane Dawson, not guilty. On the count of proven resisting arrest to a police officer beyond a reasonable doubt, Gabriel Blaine, not guilty. Maryjane Dawson, not guilty. On the count of battery beyond a reasonable doubt, Gabriel Blaine, guilty. Maryjane Dawson, not guilty. On the count of aggravated kidnapping beyond a reasonable doubt, Gabriel Blaine, guilty. Maryjane Dawson, guilty. On the count of proving slavery beyond a reasonable doubt, Gabriel Blaine, not guilty. Maryjane Dawson, not guilty.
I'll be damned. Look at that.
Okay. Thank you, jury. Well, I appreciate everybody's time here. I will get the official verdict on the docket, and we'll need to make some adjustments on arrest records, but that will be after the fact. We'll get all that paperwork straightened out. I believe that is everything here. The court is adjourned.
One more thing. Sorry. Well,
Court is not adjourned.
there is the matter of any existing fines and/or compensation for the convictions.
I will have to get with the sheriff about existing fines and what needs to be removed based on the rulings. As far as compensation is concerned, I believe that's a civil matter between you and the sheriff's office.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Of course. Court adjourned.
Nothing further.
What is he saying? Civil matter. What are you gonna talk to sheriff about?
Compensation. It's a civil matter.